Hey guys, it's Jack, and recently I've been branching out a little bit. About a month ago, I talked about a spin-off of Drag Race called RuPaul's Drag U that had sort of been lost to time, but when you look back on it, it was charming for what it was. It aimed to empower people through the art of drag, it had some amazing, entertaining mentors, and overall, I found it a hidden gem. So in the same realm, I want to talk about another show that empowers, entertains, and gives us both some amazing mentors and contestants. Call Me Mother is the hidden gem that I need every single person to watch. The show airs on Out TV, which is a Canadian network, and over in Canada it's pretty popular, but I do not think it's getting the attention that it deserves from the US, and other countries for that matter. Imagine some of the most feel-good episodes of Drag Race, maybe the makeovers or where the queens are just talking and vibing, and extend that into an entire show of everyone just uplifting each other. Today I want to go over what makes Call Me Mother so special and why I believe you guys should watch it. Season 1 premiered back in October 2021, and all the episodes are available, so you have enough time to watch it as Season 2 is premiering now. So let's go back over the first 2 episodes of Season 1, and then I'm going to talk about Season 2 in a little different format. Season 1, Episode 1 premieres with 10 drag artists coming into the workroom, but they call it the Mothership. I'm not going to be comparing it too much to Drag Race in this video because it is its own thing, but right off the bat, we notice one thing that's different from the casting. We have a drag king and some people who fall in between drag queen and drag kings. It is a completely all-inclusive cast with artists from different cultures, different languages. It's just such a cool take that gets me so excited for the rest of the show. Once they walk into the Mothership and get settled, the host Dallas Dixon introduces himself and the rules of the first episode. There are 3 mothers who serve as mentors for the competition, and each of them are allowed to pick 3 of the artists to be a part of one of their 3 houses. The House of Glass, with the mother of the house being Crystal from Drag Race UK Series 1, the House of Harmony with the gorgeous, hilarious Barbada, or the House of Doucette with Peppermint from Drag Race Season 9 and the winner of a future All-Star season. You get to know these 3 artists really well on the show, and they each go above and beyond to make sure that they're mentoring these artists perfectly. So how are each of these artists picked? They are tasked to do a 3-event showcase in order to highlight who they are as a person and their persona. The first is a runway and their signature drag, the second is a talent show, and the third they're supposed to spread the tea, which is basically their proposal for why you should pick them. In Season 1, at any point in these events, the mothers can wave their fans in order to pick the person. With this system, it's like The Voice where the mothers pick someone mid-performance, and then at the end, if multiple mothers picks them, they get to choose who they want to go with. I love how different the first episode is compared to the rest of them because we get such a good taste for everyone in the room. It's a really good way to first introduce someone before they get into the competition. As for the contents of the events, the runways are so good, the talents are so fun, and you really get a sense for why these contestants want to be there in the tea segment. The talent show especially, after doing so many videos on the Drag Race talent shows, is so refreshing because it's just coming off so positive. With the Drag Race talent shows, it's a little hard because people have to land in the bottom, but here it's all positive. I mean, Valerie, the first one up, did comedy and she didn't bomb. She did really good. Herky Sleeves did a silent clown number about a peacock falling in love with a crow because why not? But my personal favorite, Sanjina Dabish Queen, did a performance that's true to her culture and I loved watching it. And that's one of my favorite things about the show. Sometimes it feels like they may be juggling a little too much with the topics and all the diverse backgrounds of these performers, but at the end of the day, they get these performers in front of a camera, get them to talk about their background and what they want to highlight, and you just feel good about it. The contestants don't have all the answers, and they come into the competition wanting to learn from these mothers. What they do have is the heart and their experiences behind them, and that pushes all of them to be so compelling. At the end of episode 1, you really think that any of these performers can win it because they're a canvas that's still being painted. They have the structure, they have the beauty, they just need the final details, and that's what the mothers are going to give them. And then jumping into episode 2, we get the more standard format, and I absolutely adore this episode. For this episode, there are 2 runway categories. One is My Drag Journey, and the other is a Marie Antoinette inspired look. For this first runway, the artists were tasked to bring something from home that represents their drag journey, but now that they're in a house, they have to kind of tweak it in order to fit the cohesiveness. So each of the house members compares their outfits, and then they plan how to redesign them in order to fit the whole house vibe. This leads to some really good interaction with some people taking charge in the design, and we get to see a lot of the talent from the designers. There's a little bit of conflict and some queens feel like they don't belong there, but what's cool is that the mentors are there with them for a majority of the time. So for example, in this episode when Rosie is feeling a little bit out of place, Crystal comes in to give her some advice and tell her that she belongs there. It really does feel like it's one big family all working together. They celebrate their wins, and even in their losses, no one is really blamed for it. This episode is great because it sets up what the artist brought from home, so we get to see what they brought, but the entertaining part comes in imagine when we see how they altered it in order to fit the assignment. On the runway, all of the houses do a really great job, and then there's a scoring system with 2 extra judges involved. The aunties, Miss Butterfly and Fahrenheit, add a little bit of fairness to the whole mix, so the aunties and the mothers vote on each house except for the house mother who can't vote on their own house. Basically, the aunties are there to fluff up the points and make sure that none of the mothers are trying to screw the other mothers over by like low scoring them. And it's just really cute to see Fahrenheit and Miss Butterfly there because they're really entertaining and obviously they're pretty familiar faces. After the runway with all the children from the house, the mothers then pick one specific child to walk the next runway. Back when they were trying to make their brat looks cohesive, they also designed a Marie Antoinette look that they then planned with other designers in order to make the outfit. I like this concept a lot because you still get like the design plan and kind of the cooperation and the vision out of it, but the main focus of this week is cooperation and cohesiveness, so they didn't really have the time to design a whole new outfit. And the designers who took the helm for these Marie Antoinette looks, oh, they look so good. At the end, they add up the scores, and the house with the lowest score, the mother then has to pick which queen to eliminate, which, oh my god, the drama. But even after just 2 episodes, you get such a strong taste for each of these performers, and it's so sad to see each one of them go, especially at the hands of each of their mothers, but it creates such good TV. It's overall just a really refreshing take on a competition format that's familiar but in its own way. For a first season, it's already such high quality by the editing, the production design, the resources given, and for season 2, they only got bigger, and that's where I want to go next. Now that you know the format a little better, I want to cover season 2 in a little more detail week by week. So let's switch up the format a little bit. Oh, you're already here? Hey guys, it's Jack. For those who don't know, this is my face. For those who do, I am sorry. This is obviously different than the format that I normally do, but I want to recap Call Me Mother Season 2 because I just love this show so much. So each week up until December, I'm going to be covering the episodes in affiliation with Out TV, and I'm so excited to be working with them. Of course, before I transition my content into this kind of in front of the camera style thing, I needed to give you a taste of the show in the format that everyone is familiar to. So let's jump into Call Me Mother Season 2, Episode 1. After we get a really fun intro breaking down the houses and the mothers and how many people are going to be in each house, we get introduced to the contestants. I love how diverse this cast is. There are people from so many different backgrounds, so many different ages. It's so refreshing to see. We have some drag kings on the show, some people who fall in between, some drag queens. You just get to see it all. And we already see a bump up in production from season 1, with 15 contestants coming in as opposed to 10. Obviously, 3 get cut by the end of the episode, but even then, that's 1 extra person in each house, so, you know, the budget has increased. It gets me more excited because that means more episodes, more content, more time for people to showcase their art. It's all just a win-win. The host, Dallas Dixon, explains that 3 people are going to get cut at the end of the day after 3 rounds of showcase. The first round is a runway, the second is the talent show, and the third is spilling the tea. Each of these rounds is meant for the contestants to showcase who they are in various ways. And I think we get a really strong showcase out of a lot of the contestants. For today's video, I'm gonna do my top 5 favorite runways and top 5 favorite talent shows from the episode. I think all the runways were really strong in different ways because at the end of the day, they were showcasing themselves. But these are the top 5 that I just have been thinking about for the past couple days. Coming in at number 5 is this Charlie Chaplin Bumblebee look by Stony Mac. I think it's so camp, and the fact that they just walked out and said, oh, I just wanted to dress as a bumblebee, it's just perfect. I really like that Charlie Chaplin era in general, and pairing that with Bumblebee, for some reason, it just works so well. Number 4, I gotta give it to Pepper for part presentation, and I just love the outfit as well. First, the presentation, the attitude, really stomping down that runway, giving full power, it's amazing. You can tell right away that Pepper is a performer just off of this runway, and it got me excited to see so much more. I love the pattern, the color of the hair is so great. I love how asymmetrical it is and how ridiculous that one big earring is. Overall, Pepper just sold me on absolutely everything tonight. Number 3, we have the icon Michaela Couture. I gotta try and keep my bias to a minimum because I love Michaela. We interact a lot on social media and she is just so insanely sweet. But of course, I need to remain objective and I'm objectively saying that this outfit is amazing. This shade of purple on her, the reveal, just how elegant it looks, I just eat it up so much. Obviously, she comes from the house of couture, which is a very, very big fashion house, and I'm just so excited to see Michaela serve elegance and pride and beauty, and oh, I am so excited for the rest of the season. Coming in second, I have Imara in this amazing old school look. I am a sucker for this type of character and everything that comes with it, and Imara presented it perfectly. Just turning the corner with that slow strut, we immediately knew exactly what she was going for, and she knocked it out of the park from there on out. The presentation alone could have got it this high, but of course the dress itself is just gorgeous. But at number one, we have Phoenix, who I just think stole the show. This runway is just so expensive. I just love how accentuated the shoulders and the hips are, and they said that this was their first runway. I don't know if they meant it was their first runway ever or just of the season, but they sold it like they've been doing this for eons. I have been non-stop thinking about this runway since I watched the show, and I am so excited to see more from Phoenix. As for the top 5 talent show numbers, there are some repeats, but there's also some new people. At number 5, I'm gonna give it to Seonse because I think it was a really interesting performance to go with first. Everything that we'd seen from Seonse up to this point was giving supervillain. I mean, they kind of said themselves that they wanted to be this cartoon supervillain. So the talent show performance especially was the thing to sell that, and I think they sold it. I don't think it was the most laugh out loud hilarious thing in the world, but there were some good jokes, and of course the presentation was great. They did all the artistry themselves, super cool. And then we get another similar performance with Weeby at number 4. Weeby did a whole tarot card spoken word thing, and the energy stayed consistent throughout the whole performance. These two performances were very, very risky to do first because I feel like they can kind of flatline, but both of them did a really good job. And now we start to get to the overlap. Coming in at number 3 is Pepper. Every beat was hit, there were really great spins, a lot of great dancing moves. It really seemed like they were a professional dancer. I don't know if that's actually true, but I would not be shocked if it was. They were serving drama and such a tight lip sync. If they could get Pepper to perform every single week, I would not be upset at all. Coming in at number 2, again, I think I'm being objective, but Michaela did so good. Michaela even said on Twitter that as soon as she turned the corner, Peppermint immediately waved her fan, and I'm like, yeah, that seems right. It was just giving Beyonce, and it was everything that I was hoping to see out of Michaela. It is insane that she is my age and she's doing the things that she's doing, and it makes me so proud. I'm like a very, very proud fan. But coming in at number 1, we have Imara, who I think had the best performance of the night. I've seen burlesque a lot in drag talent shows, and there's a couple ways you can play it. You can play more campy or a little more straight, and Imara went the straighter route, but it was like the best that I've seen. It really, really built on itself, starting off a little more seductive and then getting into the tricks and the performance, and that split at the end where she kept going up and down, crazy. But even outside of that, there were so many amazing performances, and I can already tell that this season is going to be so amazing. Each week, I'm gonna go over the people that I'm keeping the closest eye on, and for right now, I think it's Pepper, Imara, and Michaela because they made both of my lists. I think they all came into this competition knowing a lot about themselves, and I think just with a little more mentorship, they can be absolute superstars. So these 3, I'm excited to see them in the competition, but of course, there's so many other people that I think are gonna do so great. People like Jenna, Justin, and Stoney, I think they're all really, really sweet people, and I wanna see them flourish. So overall, I'm just ready and excited to hop into this season, and I'm so excited that I get to be recapping it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you stuck around through the end. I have more videos coming out soon, and these recaps will be premiering each Friday. And I'll see you soon with another video.